we have some very like cool news. I think this is cool. Like we've all talked about it, but we got a blessing from David Lee Roth, the man himself, recently on social media. So we're gonna walk you through this story from the beginning, and because it's a good story. So it involves comments. So leave comments, you guys. Jesus, like get in here and comment. So we posted a video a while back about Ozzy, and the video, the title or the subject matter of the video, I think the caption says like Van Halen blew us off the stage, right? And the story is Ozzy talking about when Black Sabbath toured with Van Halen in, I think it was 78. Van Halen blew Black Sabbath off the stage because Van Halen was kind of like a fresh young band with this like new energy. And so we had this comment at that time. So basically, long story short, I don't need to like overdo this, but this guy left this comment on that video talking about the Van Halen show. We took this, we read it on one of our live streams, and so I turned it into a short thing again online. So here it is. When Black Sabbath first toured with Van Halen, they blew them off the stage. And so we posted that video, and we got a lot of really cool comments actually from people who like attended the tour and saw the tour. This guy is in Britain, and he said, I saw Black Sabbath on that tour in 78 as an 18-year-old headbanger. It was the Lewisham Odeon, a rundown neighborhood in South London. No one, and I mean no one in the audience, knew who Van Halen was. When the lights went down, this tall, blonde, half-naked man came on in splits. Then grabbed the microphone and screamed, Lewisham, the fucking rock and roll capital of the world. The entire crowd sat in stunned silence during the 30-minute set, not knowing any of the songs or what to make of these crazy Americans. We were there, after all, to see Black Sabbath, but that guitar player f***ed me sideways with a grandfather clock. That guitar player was from another planet. When they finished the last song, and I can't remember what it was, there was a moment, about 2 seconds of absolute silence, like we had all been hit in the face by a cinder block. Then the place exploded. It was a profound and visceral experience. I went on to see Van Halen at every one of their UK appearances in the following decade, and although they were all magnificent, nothing compared to that initial impact at Lewisham Odeon.
That's really cool.
So that was the initial post that we did, and we posted as a YouTube and an Instagram short. So I want to show you now official David Lee Roth, his first post. David Lee Roth's first post. Ozzy came out and said when Black Sabbath first toured with Van Halen, they blew them off the stage. So anyway, props to David Lee Roth.
The GOAT. It reached him. I mean,
now we need to get him on the show and see if he'll give us some more scoops.
Yeah. I think he's going to be touring soon, so we should see if we can get him.
Yeah,
for round of press.
I saw he's doing the M1 festival or in Maryland.
Yep, with like Skid Row or something like that.
Yeah, with Sebastian Bach.
Sebastian Bach, that's right. Yeah, so to me, this is huge because I was telling Damon the other day, our cousin, that when I was a kid, I wasn't even into Van Halen that much, but like I was into MTV. And so Hot for Teacher, and then after that, David Lee's solo stuff was like the stuff that my youth was, the background of my youth. Like when he did like Just a Gigolo or like California Girls.
And Little Ain't Enough. And
yeah, like he when he went solo and did his like whole David Lee Roth, Dave TV and shit, he had.
Well, and like you were saying, your profile picture on like all social media is
my
Photoshop.
For a long time, my profile picture has been my face photoshopped on a Tiger Beat centerfold of David Lee Roth. We should pull that up because it's pretty hot.
Yeah, it is. You actually
well,
should.
And it's just interesting in life how like full circle certain things are sometimes, like shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know we posted and tagged Van Halen, so I'm sure he saw it in his feed or something, but it's just dope that he even posted it on his account.
Dude, that's such a huge acknowledgement too from someone, from a legend like that.
The craziest part, it wasn't even the original one. It was like the one after it.
What's that?
The crazy part, it wasn't even the original. It was the one after that.
What do you mean?
Like it was, didn't he share the reaction?
comment? Yeah, he shared the comment like the comment was a reaction to another video we did. So it was
yeah,
like a
right.
reply
Well,
to
I
it.
mean, he shared our video though.
Yeah, yeah.
But our video was a comment, was basically just a response to, you know what I mean?
Well, and it's dope that he didn't like just throw it up on his story or anything. He like posted it as a post on his account. Like that's
right. It's like on his thing. Okay, check this out. So this is the photo. This image I have on my as my Instagram profile photo, but I have my face photoshopped on David Lee Roth's body. But
I think you have a Paul Stanley one too, don't you?
yeah, I do. Look at that hunk of man. Anyway,
Nice.
Nice.
Did you do that or did somebody else do that for you?
The Photoshop?
Yeah.
Oh, I did it. Yeah. So anyway, this all came from a comment that someone left under our YouTube video, just to kind of full circle.
Tell us your stories, everybody.
So we like comment, you know, like even if you just come in to say you guys are dickheads, we love it. We love it. We love to be called names. We love to. Eric's getting a lot of hate in the comments on Instagram. The thing that's funny about the hate towards you, Eric, though, is like I think the person that's mad at you like misunderstood what you said.
I think they did too.
Because they're like, oh, you
I also like some of those things, like I didn't caption it right, or it only posted like part of the video that you sent me, so it didn't show the rest of what Eric said. And you know, it's whatever. They don't watch our show, so who cares?
Yeah, I mean, in that case too, it was the whole point of the video. Like the whole point of what Eric said was that Slayer fans are super dedicated. He's like, you never met a Slayer fan that just casually.
I think the joke or like the you know, it kind of flew over their head.
The sarcasm went over their head for sure.
And it wasn't even my quote. It was Rob Zombie's quote.
Right.
Yeah.
I wanted to, if it's okay, let's talk. It was just Eddie Van Halen's birthday yesterday.
Yeah.
Dude, someone's in the comments said that, and I didn't even know. And I had to like go look it up just to be sure. But yeah, he would have been 70 years old.
Yeah. It's great. It's crazy because I always remember his birthday and I don't remember why he's, you know, and then I always remember Wolfgang's birthday too, because that's a song on a Van Halen album, 316. Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about it a couple times. That's a guy who knew his instrument inside and out. He worked on it. He
could build amps.
Yeah,
he knew the electronics of the guitar.
Changed there's Joey popping in.
Oh, Joey jumped on. Hell
What's
yeah!
going on?
What's up, Joey?
The whole crew's here.
Good to see you, man.
So I just thought it was Eddie Van Halen. If people, maybe we could post a link to that Smithsonian interview with Eddie Van Halen. Have you guys seen that?
No.
Yeah.
That is the coolest thing. That lady sits down and starts talking to him, and she's got an audience, and she just starts talking to him, and he talks about how they migrated here and how it was when they got here, and it's just like, and all of these amps and stuff were 220 because they were all for Europe, and so he had to change things, and that's how he
had to rewire them.
Yeah, he had to rewire, and so he got this experimental sounds and stuff like that. It's just crazy to see that kind of stuff.
He was just so dedicated to the instrument and music that he like was able to change like the entire direction and trajectory without even. I don't think he was trying. He was just being himself, like being innovative. Yeah.
Here's the interview you're talking about, Eric.
Yeah, it's a great interview. We should.
I have seen that actually. Does he play a little bit in it?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I have seen that. He like shows how he kind of saw Jimmy Page at Led Zeppelin, and that's how he started doing the tapping.
And if you know where they are after a while,
the harmonics,
this stuff.
Dude, he makes it look so easy too.
Yeah, like that shit is not easy at all.
And my favorite part about it is the dude is just a natural at it, and he's like, it's like so easy, and he's just like, bam, done.
In that interview, I was kind of briefly talking about it, but he talks about how he says I didn't invent tapping, but he's like, the way I kind of learned about it, I'm sure he didn't invent it, but he totally changed like the way people look at the instrument. But anyway, he says in that
It's like Dave Lombardo didn't invent double kick, but like,
yeah,
he
it's like
kind of
he
fucking made it a big thing.
Exactly. Like, I'm sure there's jazz people who were doing it before or whatever, but he fucking like brought it to metal and made it like a fucking mainstream deal. Anyway, he says in that interview that the way he like kind of developed the idea for it is he saw Led Zeppelin live and Jimmy Page would like strum the guitar and like put his hand up and keep like playing with this hand. So he was like, oh, so if I can move my finger up and use it kind of like as the nut of the guitar. So you can, you know.
Well, we were talking about Eddie because yesterday was his birthday, and we kind of went and showed this comment from the video that we, you know, the whole idea was to talk about the David Lee Roth reposting our short. So we kind of retreaded that. So you're coming in right on the tail end of that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you guys said it, but Dave, if you're watching now, please come on as a guest sometime.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you.
There was a minute where he was supposed to take over Howard Stern's radio show.
Yeah, he was.
Remember.
That was
a whole bunch of
crazy.
Also,
have you ever listened to his podcast? He's got a cool podcast.
Really?
No.
Oh, yeah. He's got a great podcast.
I did listen to his Joe Rogan. He talked a lot about being an EMT on it. Like, he left music and became an EMT for a while.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. But well, so the thing before we move on to just to keep talking about Van Halen for a second. Like, I'm not the hugest Van Halen fan. I've never been like the hugest Van Halen. You know, even though I said like obviously a huge part of my youth, but I also recognize that like what they did to music, like metal especially. Like, they set the tone for metal in the 80s.
Yeah. And Pantera, there'd be no Dimebag without Van Halen.
Eddie. Yeah, there'd be like most guitar players without Eddie.
Yeah.
Man. He was he was Hendrix's like spirit child, basically.
That's the thing. Like, Hendrix, I think, kind of developed like, you know, the overdrive and started like making that metal sound, but Van Halen took it to the next level. Like, he took it to a whole nother level.
Oh yeah.
With like guitar playing and soloing
and I will just put it right out there that
I mean, Eric's a huge Van Halen fan.
I'm a huge Van Halen fan.
I mean, listen, dude, I respect them a lot more as an adult than I did when I was younger. I didn't appreciate them as much as I think. But like I said, some of my earliest memories of music are fucking David Lee Roth. So, and
I mean, the coolest thing is they're such a badass band, and they smiled.
Yeah, they were fun. That's what I loved about David Lee Roth. Like, they were like, it was fun energy. It was like a party energy, you know? It was always like, hey, we're having a good time.
But I also feel like they weren't like I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think David Lee Roth was ever like super Axl Rosy, where he was like having hissy fits before shows. And
well, Eric can probably speak to that. Actually, Joey read the biography too. Why did they break up? Like, what? Like, was David Lee Roth kind of a little bit of a prima donna?
Well, it's kind of funny because in the Ted Templeman autobiography, they kind of talk about, you know, Eddie was going more with the keyboards, and Dave didn't like that. Dave wanted to stay with the rock stuff. And again, I mean, Dave, you're watching, come on and straight, you know, tell us right out what it was about. But
that'd be awesome to talk to him about it. Like, but
from Ted Templeman's standpoint, it was like kind of that once Eddie got introduced to the keys, he kind of was going in that direction. Dave wanted to stay harder and more rock, and he didn't like that. So
can't blame him.
Yeah,
I think you see that in a lot of bands, though, don't you? Like, you have some members that want to, if you want to use the word, evolve, you know, whether it's harder or lighter or whatever, and then you got others that want to stay the same, and I think both are valid.
Yeah, and when you master an instrument like Eddie Van Halen had, like, how many hours has he spent playing guitar? Like, I'm sure he wants to do something else probably with his life at some point, or experiment.
Jump is like one of Van Halen's most iconic songs. That fucking synth riff.
I didn't even know that was him doing that. I thought they had like a keyboard player.
No, Eddie's a piano player too.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
For sure. Yeah.
And then I had to mention too, in that Ted Templeman autobiography, he talks about how in that Hot for Teacher song, the song Hot for Teacher, the drum at the very beginning, that the very, very beginning of that is Eddie Van Halen's Lamborghini that he revved up and let off the gas. And that's the sound.
Oh, that sound at the beginning.
Yeah, it sounds like drums beating, but it's actually the car coming back down to an idle.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you listen to it, if you really listen to the song, you can hear that point when it switches from exhaust to the drums.
To the drums.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. We should do a short on that.
Yeah, we should. We should. Yeah.
Totally. Well, R.I.P. Eddie. Happy birthday.
Yes.
Legend. And David Lee Roth, come on our show and talk to us.
And Rip the GOAT. You know what I mean? He's the GOAT, man.
Of course. Dude. Like, again, it's like, dude, David Lee Roth is fucking the king of 80s metal. Like one of the kings of 80s metal. Van Halen are the kings of 80s metal.
Yeah, and like if you're a singer too, like as a front man, he's just like one of the most fucking
top tier.
That's who you aspire to be like, whether you're doing rock or metal or